All right, this is the Scrambler 1200. I am very interested in this bike. It looks great. Scramblers are all the rage these days, and this is a very big scrambler. And this thing sounds great. By the way, so the modes are right here on this button, and it's got a bunch of other modes like cruise control and pretty decent power. Of course, we're going pretty darn slow. The way you sit on it is very kind of flattish. You know, everybody's talking about the Royal Enfield. I get this over that. But of course, the MSRP is so much higher on this thing. Surprisingly nimble. Okay, here we go. This bike feels great, man. There's a lot of heat coming up, and you have to admire these bikes are just very, they sound great. These are great sounding bikes. And they're fast. You know, I was wondering why it was so hot. The exhaust on this bike, hey, stay there. The exhaust on this bike, it is right at my lower leg. It is an incredibly hot bike. I mean, like, you're constantly like putting your leg against that header. And we kind of forgot that these old bikes, they used to burn people all the time. But yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, maybe for styling of the Scrambler, it looks cool. Maybe you kind of think you're Seve Mcqueen. And the mirrors, I'm not into these mirrors. Like, it seems like Harley and Triumph are still using crappy mirrors. I don't think it's the best instrument. It's clustered and very confusing. The icons are tiny. Key is huge, but you know, everything else about this is very simple. Look at this, they even have hand guards for this. Off-road, I think it still feels like a very heavy bike, and I don't think I'd be comfortable riding this thing off-road. It is a 1200cc bike, so it is extremely large. You know, I've had two Triumphs, and the Triumphs I've had were extremely reliable, except the first one. So I had a Steamer Tiger, and I love the looks. You know, Triumph styles bikes extremely well. And it looked great, but it was a little bit on the unreliable side and badly engineered side. And the Triumph Speed Triple that I had after that was completely different. I put 70-something thousand miles on it, and that bike just was amazing. Okay, it's nice that all of these bikes now have gear shift indicators. Oh yeah, lifts up that front. That's a good kick, man. That is a good kick. I think the cornering is a little it's not great. Plenty of power. God damn, yeah, it's got plenty of power. You can't... God damn. This is a kind of a monster bike. It does not seem like it's a fast bike. That is incredibly fast. Jesus Christ. Look at that wheelie. Holy shit, this thing's got power. That is really incredible that I could lift the front wheel up. I like doing that, but the Super Tenere is a little bit on the slower side and more sedate, because you know, I think the engine on that is probably one of the most reliable. But that is just incredible, this thing. Standing up is pretty easy. You know, like I don't usually stand up as a rider, but yeah, it's fine, I guess. I don't think I'd be using this as a off-roader, but it's got so much power. This bike is, it's got a chain drive. You know, you would think that a 1200 with a chain, I don't know, that seems kind of nutty. I kind of wish it had a shaft. I think that's the way to go on these bikes, because a lot of the guys who get them, I think they want maintenance free. At least I do. I like the ability of just stacking tons of miles, but if I was to decide between the T7 and this, you know, very different bikes, but you know, it's the same sort of audience. It's guys who want to pretend they're going on adventures. I think the T7 for me is a lot better. I don't even know the price of this thing, but you know, Triumphs, as reliable as my experience has been with my Speed Triple, they still cost a lot more to repair. The parts still cost more, and I think that's a really big downside of the Triumph. I'm actually going to go for a little bit of a spin here. Fifth gear, let me switch it to 6. I do not like that exhaust in my foot. I love the triple that Triumph has. It's such a cool sounding engine. The kickstand just kind of flies out. I don't even know how to turn it off. But yeah, that's the Scrambler 1200 XE. It is extremely tall. I don't know if you guys can tell on video, but it's a tall bike. Extremely tall. And look at this. You got the shocks on both sides. They're all-in suspension with Brembo brakes. They have Torrance tires. They have spokes laced to the outside, so they're tubeless tires. The engine looks, it's made out to look like it's air-cooled, but it's not. It's got a liquid-cooled upside down forks. There goes the fan, it kicked in. This is a typical old school Triumph engine casing that they do put on bikes. That wheel is a I believe a 21-inch front wheel. Now you have like the 2 exhausts. This is the, it looks cool, but for practical reasons this is not good. It protects you kind of well with this, but this gets very hot. Like this entire shape gets very hot. It's got like the chain on the right side, but I just don't like the chain on something this big, because it's going to eat chains like crazy. I do like the swing arm as well. That's a very good looking swing arm. Cornering, I mean, I didn't even realize it had a 21-inch front wheel. Normally those wheels are not as good for cornering. Type of bike, which is cool, but it's a lot smoother. Oh, you know, I hit the rev limiter, and that was like a sign on the dash that I hit the rev limiter. Is that you can, it's very comfortable to get from an adventure bike and ride this, because the seating position is the same. But this has got tons of character. It is a colorful bike. It's just, I do like it a lot. Guys, that is the new Triumph Scrambler 1200. This thing is a beast, you know. Don't think that this is like some sort of like cruiser. It does not feel like a cruiser. But it also doesn't feel like it's a bike I would take off-road. It feels just as unyieldy off-road as it does my Super Tenere. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.